looky there. I have plenty more time to tell my theory on who A is. Alright, listen guys, I really am gonna need you to open your minds to this because a lot of you are going to be upset. And then after this, you're gonna be like, that's freaking awesome. Maybe. We'll see about that. Sorry, I like to be goofy too. Alright, so to start this off, guys, spoilers again, there will be. And I am making this as a Pretty Little Liars theory video. So if you don't watch the show, like I said, go away. Drum roll, please. We'll pretend it's there. Are you ready for this? Caleb is A. Caleb is Charles. I still can't fully explain my theory on how Caleb is Charles. The C's totally get me, but that's just an obvious Pretty Little Liar fan detective thing to see. It's so stupid, it's obvious. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. Starting with things that we already know about Caleb. And well, you should know about Caleb. Equal or far superior than Mona when it comes to the hacking, the tech savvy stuff, all of that. A's phone, Mona's laptop, Maya's website, the storage unit files, and Jenna's phone for the blind. Okay, now. One really important thing that I feel like I need to add is that, sorry, I'm also looking at more notes here again. The one thing I wanted to add, though, was that he literally has been inserting himself into this investigation since the get-go. And when I say that, I mean since the girls caught him in the school in a black hoodie. Like, think about this for a second, okay? Okay, when the girls are in the school, I don't remember why the hell they were in there, but they thought A was there, going to get them. Why? Because Caleb was running around knocking lamps over, or turning lights off, doing total A things. And then they find all the burner phones, and like, oh yeah, Caleb worked or gets paid to work on people's phones and hack people's phones and this and that. And then he had the wad of money, which okay, I guess, because he gets paid for it and all. But then he goes in afterwards when he's talking to the liars about why he's there. The homeless thing, we can't forget about that. Think about this. Homeless, foster care, whatever. Worked for some real bad guys in Allentown. Which I'm going to insert another thing here real quick. Allentown's nickname is it's two things. A-Town and the A. Very important. Anyway, I think I might have missed something. But yeah, he goes on to tell the girls about why he's like breaking into vending machines, of course. But he eventually says that he's been in the principal's office sleeping on the couch. And what do you get in the principal's office? He's a hacker. He can get access to all the locker combinations, social security stuff, all that. Like, okay, remember that too. I need to give credit though. This whole theory did not even come close to my mind until I saw a YouTube video. I'm going to put the link to it, to both of them, because there's a part 2. I'm going to put the link to it in the description of this when I am done posting it. But, it's like G_XOXO. Bitch has got it going on. Another thing I want to say about him hacking the phones. Okay, so he's hacking all of these people's phones, and if you remember the episode where he goes with them, he has the gun, that episode. He goes with them to for some kind of trade-off or information for the bag, and he puts a listening device app on Hannah's phone. Okay, who's to say that he did not put that same app on every single person's phone and make it hidden? There's A's ears and eyes, possibly. You never know. Even in episode 24, right before the finale, he's got the bag of burner phones, and he says something along the lines of that, or wherever the phone number is, it could be anywhere across the world, or it could be across the room. Or it could be in your bag, Caleb. Just saying. And if you pay attention to that scene, he actually does get really fidgety with his hands and kind of nervous when they're talking about calling the phone, but as soon as she said something about sending a message, he goes, send it. Okay, some obvious shit also. Second thing we know about him. He worked for Jenna to get some information on Hannah for her. So he says that he gave her false information from his phone. He says, listen, we never saw an actual verbal conversation between either Caleb and Jenna about that particular thing, or between Jenna and the liars. They just went at it. And guys, remember, A blackmails everyone. Blackmailing for money could be very easy in the town of Rosewood because for some reason, every single person, hell of a lot of people in there, hell of a lot of important people have all this money. A has all their freaking secrets. Bada boom, bada bang. You get what I'm saying. Okay, as far as his rich mother goes, we never actually saw her in person. We saw a picture. We never heard her voice. When Hannah got the picture of the car accident, it wasn't even the same car that Caleb drove back, because he said it was his mom's car and she didn't want to drive it anymore. And then, not to mention, only way we had confirmation of that, like, we didn't see her in the picture at all. Only way we had confirmation of that was Hannah seeing it and then Caleb telling her. So who did we get that from? Caleb and A, and that's it. We, throughout the show, have always just taken everything Caleb said and done for word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? So this is definitely a suspect we need to think about, because it's apparently somebody that we haven't suspected and a lot of people aren't suspecting, and it's apparently somebody that we've seen in a black hoodie, and it's apparently somebody that we already have a bond with. So just keep your mind open. I'm not done yet. My freaking hand's starting to hurt from holding this phone because my freaking laptop doesn't catch audio well. Boo. Okay, as far as... hold on. Had to burp. Excuse me. You didn't hear it, though. You're okay. Okay, so Caleb's dad... This is crazy, but I think it could be true. Okay. Caleb's dad could very well be one of those real bad guys he worked with in Allentown. And I say this because first he's his uncle, then Hannah just happens to find this picture that gives her the idea that he's his dad. Suddenly he's his dad, and Hannah sets up some kind of reunion thing, and Caleb's all mad about it, then comes back later and he's like, I want you to come with me. So Hannah sees too, blah, blah, blah. He's a con. They say that in the show. He's an ex-con. So I don't know if we can really trust that. Also, remember, A's gonna cover their tracks in every way, shape, or form. And I'm still saying they will. A probably very much has inserted themselves into the investigation, is very close to the liars, and they are just so stupid about it. Basically, as soon as they found him out with the hoodie about the school, as soon as he moved in with Hannah, as soon as they all cleared up the bullshit that happened after the Jenna thing with Caleb and Hannah, he goes to Hannah and asks every question he can, tries to help every way that he can, so he knows everything that's going on. He knows their next move. He knows that they've gotten. He knows what A's done. He knows everything. He's literally one step ahead because he knows everything. He knows their next move. And, okay, Caleb is always leaving at very convenient times. Like we're supposed to assume he's going to visit his mom or visit his dad or whatever. That could all be fabricated. It sounds like bullshit to me. So that's as far as I've got for things we know about Caleb. Now I'm going to tell you some things about Caleb that scream A to me. They have the exact same laptop. They both like pizza and beer at the same time. Like, I don't really like touching on the food and drink thing with A and the characters on the show, but we've seen him with pizza and beer all the time. We've seen A with pizza and beer all the time. Blah, blah, blah. This one's a little goofy, but true, and I definitely got this from the video I watched. Because Caleb and Hannah took those cooking classes before season 3, and we saw a few different A endings where they're cooking. So, and it looks like it's professional ass cooking. So, and the salt and pepper shakers were owls, and Caleb and owls, and Hannah and Caleb and owls, and sex. Okay, but really though, guys, we had it confirmed that Caleb was the one that put the cow brain in Mona's locker. Why the hell would we not suspect him when in the episode 24, before the finale, the A sends Mike and Arya a cow tongue? Ding dong, hello. I'm sorry too, but that part where Caleb just happened to be inside Ezra's cabin, which he knew nothing about because he was in Ravenswood during that time. He just happens to show up there with the lights out, doing such an A move. Like, seriously, guys, if we're supposed to be able to figure it out that easily, Caleb's, if you pay attention, because I know, like, most people don't want to think it's Caleb because Ravenswood, but I mean, really? Seriously? No, it's right in front of our faces if we think Caleb. Like, I've watched it and thought, maybe it's that person, maybe it's this person. No, it can't be. But if you watch thinking Caleb, you're like, this mother... Okay, then there is the going to the cops thing. Caleb's always the one, well, Caleb's sometimes the one talking about going to the cops. He talks about going to the cops more than any of the other liars do, okay? He does. And what happens when he encourages Hannah to take her phone to the cops right before she gets arrested? Take her phone to the police station, and he's the only one that knows she's doing this. Like, boom. And it just so happens that all of her proof is erased, as if A might be standing, I don't know, right next to her. Caleb was actually standing right next to her. That's so funny. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to try to debunk the shit out of that Ravenswood thing that's going to make you say, no, it's not Caleb. Don't worry. I've got some shit for you. Alright, a little thing that I've noticed, just this kind of a little thing anyway. Just left my mind. Where was I? Oh yeah, he's usually the one that kind of talks on behalf of A. Word for word-ish, I want to say. He'll say things like, okay, I only have one in my mind right now, but, A doesn't shoot and miss. Sounds like Caleb to me. I mean, he doesn't shoot and miss either. He has pushed himself into having one-on-one conversations with just about everybody at this point. And now, another thing that I only learned from the video that I watched, the shop that Cece had when she was trying to do that fashion thing, remember the A put the snake in the dressing room with Spencer? Impeccable timing. Well, later that episode, who sneaks in? Caleb sneaks in on Hannah in a dressing room. And word for word, she says, how are you going to sneak out of here? And he just says, same way I came in. Keeps making out with her, but he's so... Team Caleb. If he's A, go A. I hope Hannah's helping him. Screw the rest. Don't give a fuck. and this is actually kind of goofy too, but it's true. There is an A on display, like a letter A on display in Caleb's apartment, as well as the hands that were like mannequin hands for the rings in Cece's shop. Just a thought. Okay, I do want to talk about Caleb's age too. We never had full confirmation of what his exact age is, and if he has access. Oh wow, I need to take a step back, guys. Alright. When the cops took his laptop and he needed Hannah to take all of that, all the A stuff that was planted on there off of his laptop, well, what if it was already fucking there? Very possible. He had access to the principal's records and stuff. He's obviously able to get into lockers, i.e. Mona's locker, the cow brain in it. And he had all the social security stuff on there. He could fake his age, get himself into a school, and blackmail everyone, even hack bank accounts. That's an A thing, and that's a Caleb thing. 1 in 1, like seriously. And the obvious, he's been buying beer. Nobody ever said he had a fake ID, ever, once in the show. Did they say he had a fake ID? Never. As far as the foster mom goes, which I do kind of want to touch on because that messes with me a little on this theory. Like, she could have easily been blackmailed into doing that stuff. A's perfectly capable of making that happen. But, I mean, it also could have been very true. He did have a foster mom, but he was homeless. Duh. Which is also another thing, like, he was homeless. We don't know anything about what happened to him while he was homeless. Know who else was out and about for a whole year at least? Well, for the first whole year before we even knew who Caleb was. Allie. She was on the run. Caleb was homeless. And they share some very interesting looks when they meet each other. Speaking of that, the episode that Caleb comes back from Ravenswood is the same episode with the ending, with the A ending, with the Black Widow on the apartment and stuff, where the movers are saying, "Welcome home." Nobody else moved home in that episode. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use my theory that debunks the Ravenswood thing. Okay, listen, they could have easily... Marlene is a freaking sneaky bitch. She is. She's out to torture us. And I believe that they could have made Ravenswood as a spin-off. I really think, though, that... I mean, they did make it as a spin-off for Caleb. Who else would get a spin-off for the show, though? Hey, I'm just saying. But Ravenswood is supposed to play a really big role in the show. Marlene has said that they are going to use Pretty Little Liars to tell us what's up, what's the deal with with Ravenswood. And they're going to finish telling Caleb's story. Wonder about that. But, Mrs. Grunwald's back, like, hello, ding dong. Why are they bringing all this back in? You wonder too? 'Cause I do. And it's like, let's see here. Yeah, that's kind of my debunker theory. Like, I feel like maybe she didn't mean for that show to go too long, but maybe Caleb wasn't even gonna stay very long. Caleb had, like, his picture in Ravenswood and stuff, and like there was all paranormal shit going on, and there is paranormal stuff going on in Pretty Little Liars, whether we like to admit it or not, like from the ghosts that Ashley saw to people disappearing like Charles did in the finale. And now I'm going to talk about the finale because people want to think that Caleb couldn't be A because he was helping out the cops. Well, I got something to tell you. I want you guys to remember from my other video, Caleb is the only one on the computers. Then Ezra and Toby walk in to try to search the traffic cameras to see if A went by on that particular highway. Before they walk in, it's just Caleb though, so he easily could have fixed that video to be all screwy with them. And he doesn't even seem like he gives a shit as much as Ezra's freaking out. And Toby, well, he's a cop, so he kind of can't be that involved, but at the same time, he's probably just trying to play it cool because Ezra's freaking out, even though Caleb's doing all the work. Okay, so they put the APB out on Caleb. Tanner thinks it's Caleb. Well, just saying. Psh, if it's Caleb, I told you. But, she puts that APB out, and then the Hastings show up. We know about A. They're all in the room together. And then Toby gets the message that the cops are